Hello, everybody. Teachers today are experiencing a very unusual situation. Where had we ever thought that teachers would be sitting in front of the computer all day long and teaching online? Well, this kind of a thing has definitely, played a huge impact on their well-being and on their general health overall. I'm Anchal Gupta, founder of healthx247.com. We are an e-commerce website with finely curated products on health, wellness, fitness, lifestyle. Today we have with us someone very special. She's Janvi Chitalia. She's an integrative gut microbiome specialist. And Janvi is here to tell us how the gut can play a huge role in improving or enhancing the brain health. Thank you so much, Janvi, for being here. And this is a very special on Teachers' Day that we would like to share with teachers on how the gut can help them improve their mental health.
Thank you so much, Anchal. It's a pleasure to be here on HealthX 24/7, and I'm really delighted to do this for the wonderful, wonderful teachers. Firstly, a big applause to all of them for really, really putting in what they do every single day to enhance so many lives. And because they do, all that for, for amazing, amazing future for our children and for, all the young adults. And I think it's really only fair that they get some time to learn about how they can take care of their health, how they can practice self-care, and how gut health is such an important part of that self-care. So I was really, it's really excited to do this, and so warm welcome to all of you, to hear about how the gut health and the brain health can actually work together, and how you can actually work on making it so much more efficient for you. Just by taking care of simple things that can make a huge difference in your overall well-being. So I'm going to start a little bit with giving a background about gut, because for any of you who don't know about it, I would suggest that it's obviously nicer to kind of learn more about it. So
yes, that would be wonderful, Janvi, because I'm sure a lot of our viewers here don't know exactly what you mean by gut health.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the gut primarily is your intestine. It's a small and large intestine that we're talking about, and it's literally, if you can say so, one of the most underrated organs that we have in our body because of the kind of work that they do. And we largely think that it only helps with digestion and breaking down of food, which yes, essentially it really does. But there's so much more to it than that, which we really need to kind of understand or learn about. So this beautiful organ actually houses an amazing universe or ecosystem of itself, which is called the microbiome, and which basically actually has a combination of the good and bad bacteria, all of them put together. So it's a universe where they live in synergy, where they live in coexistence with each other, and these good and bad bacteria are actually everywhere. They're on our skin, they're every single way, but it's just that we cannot see it, so it's very difficult to visualize how it works. But they essentially are, these tiny little guys are actually the ones which make such a huge difference to the way our body functions. And it's amazing and quite mind-blowing to learn how many kind of effects that they have in the way that your body can work in terms of organ systems. So just to give you a little bit of a background of what these microbes do, they basically help you with your immunity, they help you with your digestion, they help you with your metabolism, they help you with kind of ensuring that you are in a good mood. They help you with keeping your brain health in place, and so many more things, and the list just can go on and on and on. So what exactly is the microbiome, which I just explained to you, but I'll just tell you one or two facts about the gut so that you really realize the impact that this can have onto your health. So 70 to 80% actually of our immunity cells lie in our gut. And I think immunity right now has been a big word that we all are talking about in the times of the pandemic and changing times right now. So it's a really, really important aspect to understand that if you want your immunity to be in place, your gut health really, really needs to be in the right kind of a balance if you want to see that. Another very amazing thing about the gut is that our microbiome basically is that we do have say about we're literally more of a super microorganism than we are a superhuman, because we have more than 90% of our cells belong to the microbes, and we have only 10% cells that belong to the gut. And the most amazing other part about it is that we see that all when teachers are dealing with so many different children, and how they really pick out the uniqueness of each child and be able to embrace and empower each child and love each child in their own way. the beauty of these microbes are also that, we all, each of us, have a different microbiome. None of us have a same microbiome. It's as unique as a fingerprint. So it's
Awesome.
really that, that whole comparison is so beautiful to see, that how unique we all are, in a literally at a physiological level and at a creative level as human beings. And I'm sure the teachers relate to that so much more because of the work
Right.
that they do with children.
That's interesting.
So yeah, that's really interesting to know. So when I learned about it, I was really fascinated by the whole world of the gut and the microbes. So moving forward, I think a little more information that I'd love to, before I share about the brain health and gut connection, I would love to share about how do you know if you have a gut health issue. Because sometimes you know that you want to help yourself, you want to work around your health, but what technically happens is that you're not able to understand that there is an issue. So the most important thing that I would suggest that you want to look at is, there are a couple of ways to see the signs and symptoms that you have a gut health issue. And number one is, and this is not in any basic order, but I think this will be really helpful for the teachers to understand, because the gut, like I said, manages so many things, that it's not just digestive issues that you need to experience if you're having a gut health issue.
Mhm.
You would also have issues with, like simple things like related to your skin. You could have issues related to your joints. So many other things which are so important for us to take care of in terms of our health. So number one is, the gut can really be imbalanced in the form of, saying, having constipation or having diarrhea, having to go multiple times in the day, or having really hard stools, not being able to really pass satisfactorily is one main kind of way that the gut is imbalanced. Then also we have gas and bloating, which happens from time to time. Especially a lot of people, I think, these days I'm hearing that a lot of people who also teachers are sitting for a long time now in front of the computer. So you're sitting down, you're probably eating food, then again sitting down to manage class, correct work, take classes. So a lot of gas and bloating is also a current complaint which is coming in. So that's also another very important part related to the gut. Then we have, you have skin issues. So you have psoriasis, you have eczema, you have, things like acne, itching, red boils. All of these can be related back to your gut. Even having joint pain. A very, very important part, Anchal, is the joint pain can have a major correlation with your gut health. So, a lot of people who have stiffness of the neck, stiffness of the ankles, the knees, the back when they wake up in the morning, also
Yeah.
sitting for a very long time, right? So
These
when
are
you're
very
sitting
common
for
these days, actually. What
very
you just
common,
mentioned
yes.
is really common these days. Yeah.
Correct. So when they're sitting for so long, it's going to create some kind of stiffness. So when you wake up in the morning, there is stiffness. So that could be another way that it relates to the gut health, because inflammation really can play
Right.
a role with the pain, and that could be something. Also, having rheumatoid arthritis or osteoarthritis or any of these things could really aggravate, and really comes from the aspect of gut health. And this list can really continue, but I'm going to share on one or two more which I think are very, very closely related. One is, the one that I think, the one that will interest everybody, is that when a person is really working hard, maybe they're trying, teachers are trying to do their best to get fit at
Yes.
home,
Yeah.
eat healthy, try to work out, but even after that you're not losing weight, it could mean that your gut health is imbalanced. Even having a hormonal imbalance can lead to, can point out towards a gut imbalance. And the most important one is when there are fluctuations in mood, when there is brain fog, there is lack of alertness, and where you feel like you're not able to function as effectively. That has a very, very strong connection with your gut again, which very closely talks about the brain and the gut.
So I've
So
heard so many people complaining of this actually of late, and specifically in the pandemic. Yeah.
absolutely, so I think some of these issues that we brought out are the common issues that people are suffering in the current times. And now, at least for a matter of fact, that when you have that, it's
Yes.
not just about a normal thing, but it's just it's more about having a gut health issue, which is at the core of these issues. And when you correct your gut health, you can really work on these things. So I'm going to explain a little bit about the brain and the gut before we move into one or two tips that I love to give you all.
Yes.
Is number one is, how does it correlate? I'm going to make this as simple as I can as possible.
Yeah.
So because it is amazingly complex in the way that they work together, but it's such a beautiful bond that the brain and the gut share. So primarily, I think it all starts with having, say for example, we're having a gut imbalance, where I'll just explain what gut imbalance means. Is when you have the good and bad bacteria living together in synergy,
Mhm.
That's great, and we need that. We need that synergy for sure to have a good, great way of functioning. But
Right.
when, as anything that we know that becomes excess, is
Yes.
never really good for your body, and your body always tries its best to go back to homeostasis or balance. In the
Right.
same way, when the bad bacteria really increases
Mhm.
because of high processed foods, because of stress, because of endocrine disruptors, because of a lot of various sleep issues, all of these could relate to having a gut imbalance over a time, and that actually creates inflammation in the gut. Now,
Mhm.
when there is inflammation in the gut, that is basically swelling. So, I'll give you a simple example of inflammation. You
Mhm.
have a child who's playing in your classroom and he's running and everything, and he suddenly falls down. He
Right.
falls down and he hurts himself. He scrapes his knee, and you see that there is a wound there. You'll see pretty much in just a short period of time, you'll be able to see that you know um, there's a little bit of a red covering around the area that he's hurt himself, and the wound gets elevated. So that's your body's way to really protect its own self, and
Right.
that simply can be explained as inflammation.
Okay.
So we want inflammation is a very good thing for our body, as long as again it is in moderation. So
Right.
when there is an excess of swelling in the gut, that can over the time also lead to an excess of inflammation in the brain, and
Right.
that can give rise to having issues such as not being able to pay attention, having brain fog, having a mood which is irritated. So when the gut is also irritated, you can have really a lot of mood disorders, which can also play a role in feeling like your brain is inflamed, or feeling like you're having a brain like in the sense of having the brain fog or having lack of alertness. All of these things can happen when your hormones, or when your happy hormones are affected. So
Right.
things like your serotonin, dopamine in the gut becomes less because of a imbalance that can lead to brain inflammation. So
Okay.
brain inflammation is, I know, sounds like a big term, but it
Yeah.
can have very, very simple ways of presenting itself, like where you just feel fatigued all the time. You
Mhm.
feel like you can't take in more information.
Mhm.
Learning, becomes a challenge. Even if you read something, there's a kind of a memory loss.
Right.
If there's a lack of deficit of, kind of attention on different things. Attention to detail is missing. A lot of different ways you can actually see, and the work that obviously teachers do have so much more of that required for them,
Exactly.
and at a very, very strenuous level, right? So that is really what so that's a very simple way of putting down that when the stress levels are high, when the microbiome is imbalanced, the cortisol levels can rise up, and that can lead to further gut imbalances, which can lead to further gut inflammation, and which can lead to brain inflammation. So that's the simplest way for me to put it. So obviously, I think two things that I would love to share with you all as tips.
Yes.
One is that you want to ensure that I think at the base of all of these gut imbalances, I think 80% of our population, I do believe quite strongly, are constipated. So you really want to work on the fact that you're clearing your stomach every day to avoid the gas and the imbalance, to avoid bloating, to avoid discomfort. So my top tip for that is that if you have half a teaspoon of jeera, one pinch of hing, one pinch of ajwain in warm water, and you reduce it to half and you have it, that's a great way to ensure. Maybe you can have it after your dinner, maybe an hour after your dinner, and do that as an everyday practice. That may help you really well in being able to reduce your constipation.
So one can
Another,
have it twice a day.
absolutely, one can have it twice a day. So ajwain is still a little heaty, so you want to take half teaspoon is too much. Probably want to take one pinch if you want, or
Right.
maybe skip the ajwain on the second time. The second thing that I'd love to share with you for inflammation, if there is excessive inflammation, you can have half a teaspoon of haldi, one pinch of pepper, one
Mhm.
teaspoon of coconut oil or ghee in warm water, which is again great to really, really help the gut and help the brain inflammation come down. And without the pepper and the ghee or the coconut oil, virgin pressed coconut oil, the haldi really, the curcumin from there cannot do much. So it's
Right.
important that you ensure that you put all of that into water and boil it, and you can then drink a concoction of that. And last but not the least, I would really suggest the fact that you know that I think it's very, very important, with the amount of stress and with the amount of hours that we are at work. A very, very amazing thing that you can try and do to really calm your gut down
Mhm.
is to really be able to do something called diaphragmatic breathing. Now,
Okay.
diaphragmatic breathing is a beautiful way to ensure that you center yourself before you eat a meal. So maybe you're cutting, constantly you're like on the, roll with taking classes,
Yeah.
collecting papers, probably, working on assignments, getting, stuff ready for the next day. But maybe just before you take your lunch and dinner, you want to spend 5 minutes you just calm down and just center yourself completely and focus on your belly breathing. You could lie down and do it, you could sit in a place and do it. Center yourself from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system, where your body is more relaxed.
Right.
That will help to bring down your brain inflammation, gut inflammation. That will bring down you to be able to center yourself so well that whatever food you eat, you will digest it better. So if your gut is happy, your body's inflammation levels are less, and then your brain is happy. So I think
Right.
that's yes.
Those were some very amazing tips, something very small and very easy to do at home, which can help our inflammation and improve the brain health. However, would you like to show us the diaphragmatic breathing?
Yes, so diaphragmatic breathing specifically is nothing but if you're you can keep your hand on your chest
Right.
and hand on your stomach. So I'm not going to show the whole thing, but you can
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
one
sure.
on the chest and one on the stomach,
Yeah.
and then just breathe deeply all the way from your navel, come up, and then exhale. So the whole idea is to really breathe from the center of your navel, because as children, you see children actually do a lot of diaphragmatic breathing.
Right.
And that's something we innately knew of, but just over the time with our fast-paced lives and trying to catch up, just gone into really breathing very shallow from the
Yes.
from the chest.
Chest.
So when you actually start breathing properly from the diaphragmatic area, you're actually taking in so much more power from within the seat of energy of your body. So you really want to be able to pull in that, and that is really amazing. Also, when you're completely stressed or you're feeling really worked up, take 2 minutes to calm down and do that, and it's amazing the effects that they have on the body just by practicing it for 2 minutes. So the main thing is, to just summarize, constipation is something that you want to work on. Daily levels of inflammation should be brought into control, and all of these things are available in our kitchen. So you can use all of these amazing ingredients, very easy to do, very not the very kind of friendly in terms of the amount of time that you need to invest in doing them. And all of these, if you do in combination, will help you to be able to reduce the levels of inflammation, improve your gut, and improve your digestion. And that is really the key to keep you happy, keep your gut happy, and to really bring back a lot more kind of alertness, and bring back a lot more centered kind of presence in your lives. Yes.
Thanks so much, Janvi. This was something so simple and so easy to do. I mean, it's absolutely a no-brainer to do this. And so I just wanted to confirm the jeera, ajwain, and the hing one is supposed to be I had 1 hour after lunch and after dinner, right?
Yes, you can do that.
And the other one which you mentioned about the haldi and the
you can have that in the morning, like first thing in the morning.
So that's once a day in the morning.
So you can have that once a day.
Okay. So that is once a day in the morning, and the diaphragmatic breathing is before lunch and before dinner for about 2 to 5 minutes every day.
You can even do it the moment that you're really stressed and worked up.
Okay. Yeah. That's a super trick and super hack, and super easy to do as well. Thank you so much, Janvi. This is wonderful. And I think if we all start practicing these little small things, will make a huge difference at the end of the day for our overall well-being and our gut health and our brain health.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, we're totally happy to have you here, Janvi, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, and we look forward to sharing some more tips in the future with our viewers. Thank you.
Absolutely. The pleasure is all mine, and I hope this really adds value to each one of you and makes you the best version of yourselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right. Happy Teachers Day to all the teachers here.
Yes, happy Teachers Day to all of you, and keep spreading the amazing, kind of smiles that you bring on the children every single day. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.